Alright, we're out here today battling the lovely Midwest cold because the heater core has gone out in this 2011 Chrysler 200. This guy, pretty familiar, a lot of these made. Now, the reason we're doing this is because the heat has stopped working on just the passenger side. Some people will tell you that's a blend or a problem with your heater controls. It is not. Anytime you have one of these cars and the heat just is coming out warm on the driver's side but cold on the other side, that means your heater core is plugged. It tends to plug on one side, the fan blows on it, heat only comes out one way. So that's what's going on. That's why we're changing it. The same for the Avenger. The one we're doing right now is the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. This same thing will apply for the 3.6, but it'll be more difficult because it's a lot more cramped in there. By the book, this will take you about 10 hours, but there's a big old shortcut that you can do if you're okay with cutting a pipe. 2 pipes actually. But all in all, it should only take you about 45 minutes to get the heater core out of this car. Pretty simple. Let me show you what you'll need. You'll need obviously your new heater core, some coolant. This is 1 foot of 5/8 inch heater hose. We're going to need that to reconnect the heater core, as we are going to cut it right about there from underneath. Your hose clamps, some channel locks. This is a T20 Torx and just a Phillips, something to cut with. And you can use an angle grinder or a Dremel or a little metal saw. Your choice. Alright, let me catch you up really quick on the beginning steps of this. First thing, you're going to want to make sure your car is cool. Anytime you're working with coolant, obviously you don't want it to explode and burn your face off. So wait till this car is nice and cool. Here, this is the 4-cylinder. As you can see, we got plenty of room back here. There's your inlets for the heater core. Has these 2 hoses attached to it. So we've just taken the clamp, squeeze those, pulled them off. Be careful, this is pretty bendy metal. You don't want to squeeze or anything. You can elongate it. As you can see, I've accidentally done it a little bit. But I like to use these big old hosey type clamps. You squeeze the coolant line here and just lock it into place. That'll save you a lot of mess. Those can be had for about $10 on Amazon. If you don't have any of those, it's okay. You're just gonna have more coolant spewing out of here. But I recommend getting you some of these to clamp the hoses with. Well, that's all we got to do under the hood to begin. So inside the car, I've already got our little dismantled, but I'll show you exactly what we need to do. You'll have this little side trim piece here. Basically just insert a screwdriver, something, be gentle to get it in there, and you can work your finger in and pull that out. It's held in. The clips are really strong on this. So it may seem like it's not going to come out, but it will. Just keep pulling. Next thing, you'll have a screw right here. I can't remember if that's a Phillips or the T20 Torx, but undo that. We'll be working with this panel here underneath the steering column. This pops down with regular clips too. There's no screws holding this in. Now it is underneath this trim here. Ideally, if you wanted to get crazy, you could take all this out to get to this, but you can reach in, but I don't want to do that. So reach in and just keep pulling down. You can see the clip back there. You can pop them, and then this actually will just, if you pull on the bottom here and you push, that whole panel will just kind of slide out there, so you don't have to take everything apart. Your clip will get a little bendy, but you can bend it back. Okay, so got that out of the way. Next thing, you'll have this little metal thing here. This will be held in with 4 Torx screws. I've already removed them. Let's take that one out. And there you go. Now you got some access underneath here. You may have another plastic panel. Mine did not, but I see other ones do. So if you have another one, it'll just pull off, however, with a little clip or whatever. But so here you go. You can actually see actually see the bottom of your heater core now. It'll be blocked by this big plastic duct thing. Actually, this little cord hose clampy thing will be attached to it by this through that hole. So you'll just pull that cable off right there, pretty easy. Now this thing looks like it's in the way, but honestly, if you just reach up and grab it from the top, give her a good pull. Not scientific. You don't need to pry it or anything. Just yank on it from the top or the bottom, whatever preference you have. It came off pretty easily for me, but there you go. And you're already to the heater core. Now, see, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cutting tool and cut right in here. You'll have kind of a fatty part. Now, it is awful close to plastic and wire, so you will have to be fairly careful. But yeah, let's mark it up and we'll cut it. And the reason we're doing this is if you don't, everything you see here has to be removed. And it is an insane and very difficult job that you don't want to do. So just do it this way. And just a quick little side note here before we cut that. I forgot to mention that after I pulled these hoses, I stuck my air hose in here from my compressor and gave that a shot of air. And it blew the rest of the coolant out of the heater core. You want to have a little catch pan down there. And the reason we're doing that is because if you cut the pipes from inside, it's going to drain coolant out. So we like to have as little coolant in there as possible. If you don't have an air hose, you can probably just stick the little 5/8 heater hose we bought and blow on that really hard and get as much coolant out as you can. We're still going to put a towel underneath when we cut that thing just to catch any excess coolant. But all right, let's get cutting. Alright, if you're using a grinder like me, you can see I got a towel down here to catch any extra coolant that came out. You're going to have to, there's not a lot of space, so you're going to have to flip this up inside here like this, handle facing down. So you can see we can now get on our lines. We'll cut them right about there. And there we go. There's our cut. These lines are aluminum, so you don't have to worry about them sparking and making all kinds of fuss. Cut right through there. Now, we should be able to grab the heater core. Wow. And that we can. Let me wiggle this out. Oh. These are kind of running into this, but they bend out of the way. Oh, there we go. There is heater core. Now basically what we're going to do now is match up our cuts on the new core. So I want to take and measure from your knuckle to here to see where exactly you cut, from your bend that is, and cut these exactly the same. Actually, why don't we go ahead and cut them a little shy, about, let's say, a 1/4 of an inch. That way we have a little room to work that hose because we're going to run it up and down. You don't want it to be right pressed against there. Might cause you some troubles. I'll get to that now. As you can see, I got my new one cut here. Now these edges will come out fairly jagged if you use an angle grinder like me, so you do have to take a file of some sorts and smooth them out a little bit. But the next step is to get this thing installed. Little trick for you people who are out in the cold, because we got to put these hoses on next. Here where I am, these things have turned to rock, so inside in just a little pail, I've got really hot soapy water, and we're soaking I've cut 3.5-inch sections of hose that we're going to use to connect this, and I'm letting them soak in hot water because they need to be a little more malleable than the frozen ones are allowing, so we'll do that. Here's underneath. Look at my heater hoses slid onto the aluminum pipes. You want to slide them back on there as far as you possibly can. That way it doesn't interfere when we slide the heater core in, and then we'll grab them and pull them back this way and secure our clamps. Don't forget to hang your clamps on there beforehand before you put it in, because that'll save you some trouble fiddling with everything. Let's slide the heater core in. Alright, you can see my hose is slid on. I got all my clamps on, one on each side, put them nice and snug. Those hoses did take a little bit of fiddling around to get on there, but went pretty smoothly. Make sure they're tight. Next step is we're going to reattach the hoses to the heater core onto the hood. We'll put these back on with their squeeze clamps, take these off, and refill the coolant. Make sure that's up, and then we're gonna start and check for leaks. Alright guys, so I've had it running about 10 minutes. I don't see any leaks. Let's check it out. That's clean there. Here. No leakies. And most importantly, oh yeah, we got nice toasty heat coming out here. Gauge ain't even up yet and it's warm, so definite success there. So there you go. I thought it would take me about 45 minutes. It ended up taking about an hour and a half, which is struggle with a few things, but still that beats 10 hours. So there you go.